Okay, right. Well, as requested, I'm going to do a demo on how to do a sponge cake, but I'm going to show with cupcakes because this recipe you just double it up. So if you want to make cupcakes, you use the mix I'm going to show you, and then if you want to make an actual sponge cake, you just double it. That's it. And if you want to make a bigger cake, you just double it again. It's pretty straightforward. So yeah, I'll make a start and start showing you what there is. Obviously, you start with your scales. I've got this set to grams, so I can tell what it is. And you're going to look for 125 of, well, 125 grams sugar. So, yep. I'm using caster here, which is a fine sugar, but you can use just normal granulated sugar. It's not fine. It changes the texture of the cake very slightly, but not to a massive degree. Next, gonna need, this is just margarine. Yeah. And again, you want 125 grams or thereabouts, yeah? So I want to zero that. And I'm just going to get a knife to do that, and I'll be right back. Okay, so back, and you can see there, 125 grams. Okay, right, the next thing is you want to put a little bit of salt in, only a tiny bit. Say a tiny bit, or whatever. You want a little bit because it needs to offset. Oh, by the way, the boys know I'm cooking, so I'm being stalked. Yeah, I'm talking about you. Yeah, you can't wait for me to finish cooking, can you? It's always the same with you two. I know. Yeah, you'll get some. Right, anyway, so you got that, and you've got your sugar in there, 125. You've got your fat in there, 125. I've just put some salt in there, 2 grams apparently. So that's at 127 now. All right, cool. So we've got this, and now what we need to do is we need to add some vanilla to it. Yeah, and that wants to be about a teaspoon thereabouts. Okay, I'm going to do that because this is like really runny, so I'll return once I've done that. Right, as you can see there, there is vanilla in there now. Right, now before we go any further, what we want to do is take that off, and we're going to get some flour. Now, if you're going to have the cakes just to eat on their own with no icing or anything, then just put 125 in for flour, same as you did for the other two, okay? And that will be a little bit more rich, a little bit sweeter, quite nice. I prefer them a little bit more plain, so instead of putting in 125 flour, I put in 150 flour. Now I use a self-raising flour, which I don't know what your equivalent would be called over there, but it's a flour that you use for making cakes. So it has a raising agent in it. So you could use baking soda to accomplish the same thing with a plain flour, all right? Because it just needs the raising agent to do it. This is self-raising flour. You can see I need to zero this. And we're looking for, well, I'm looking for about 150 grams. So that's what I'm going to do. But you can go 125 grams, and that will work as well for a slightly sweeter, slightly richer cake. So here goes. Oh, made a big mess there. Nice. That's a little bit, we're getting close. 153, so... that'll do. Okay, so we've got our flour sorted. That's ready. Now you could sieve that. I'm not gonna. Right? So here we are. So we've got this ready at this stage. We've got this ready at this stage. Okay. Just tap that out before it empties all over the side. Put the flour back. Probably needs to go back in the cupboard as well. Right, so now you need to mix this together. Ta-da. So I'll return when I've done that because nobody else to hold the phone. So yeah, back in a second. Okay, back again. There you go. You mix those together and that's where you end up looking with, getting. Then you want to stick the 2 eggs, ta-da, into there. As soon as you put the eggs in, all right, don't break them or anything. Grab your flour, pop that in there as well, all right, and then mix it again. I'll be back in a minute and you'll see what that looks like. Okay, I've set it up, so I'm going to show how to put these in. So, big spoon and a little spoon, all right. You want about that much, and you press that with the little spoon like so. Okay, so there you go. That's it, more or less. And then pop it in the oven, which I should have probably mentioned. You need to get hot, and it needs to be about 180 degrees, as it says there. And basically check them in about 10 minutes, something like that. They should be done then. I'll get a photograph at the end.